person.
Okay.
Wait, was there no agreement?
Yes, there was.
I said that if there's a tie, I'll not give you anything. Now there would have been what second thought. See, me? No, maybe. So you know what? Since we have not won anything here, the second one is still following this rule. Yes, still follow the rules. If time is against us, we'll come back, we'll do it. But let's continue. Let's start now. You know, my reason for doing this is to like make you guys happy, you know. Because there's profit in all labor. That's the book of Proverbs. We'll start like this. Parables. Parables are didactic stories. Parables are didactic stories. Parables, okay, a parable is let me do it as plural. Parables are didactic stories. Didactic or didactic. Didactic is a work of art. Didactic is used to describe any work of art that teaches lessons. Parables are didactic stories. Told to buttress an already told story. Parables are didactic stories told to buttress an already told story. P-U-T-T-R-E-S-S. An already told story. Buttress an already told story. Full stop. They are fictional works. They are fictional works. But appear real. They are fictional works but appear real. Now if you look at this word parable, they're not based on fact. They're just made based on creativity. You know, if you look at stories in the Bible, you will see that for you to know that they are not based on fact, anytime Jesus Christ uses a parable, it's not a story that we can still make reference to. The characters in parables do not exist. You see it? For instance, the 10 virgins. The 10 virgins. There is no place There is no location in the Bible that it says somebody want to marry 10 wives at once. I don't know if you get my point. And the person comes, okay, where are my 10 wives? It's not normal. But Christ, if he tells you a story, he said, there is need for you to be prepared. Because you don't know when the trumpet will sound. You need to run away from sin. Live a righteous life. Be ready because the trumpet can sound at any time and the master will come for his own. Just like the parable of the 10 virgins. I don't know if you get my point. Then we'll back that his own story up with a parable. God cares about you. He does not joke with you. If you are going astray, it's better for him to abandon everything he's doing to look for you. Just like the parable of the lost coin. Parable of the lost sheep. Not that there is anywhere that somebody has 100 sheep and one is missing. Because most of us, we have still not yet grabbed that thing. We think that every of those parables happen somewhere. They are just stories created by the author to buttress or back up another story. The only one that seems real somehow is the parable of the Good Samaritan, because they mention a location. Or you don't understand, they said the man is from Samaria. A Samaritan, it's a Samaritan. Then they said he's returning and he saw a Levite. But what Jesus was trying to do there is for you to show kindness to people. It's just, if you check all his parable, there's no parable he will just come out and say. He must have told you something. And he's trying to make you understand better, then he'll back it up with parable. That's his own style. You see it? So we'll move on to the next one. Paradox. Paradox. The paradox is used to describe the paradox is used to describe a seemingly absurd or contradictory statement. It's used to describe a seemingly absurd or contradictory statement. It's used to describe a seemingly absurd or contradictory statement. Which appears meaningless at first. Which appears meaningless at first. But makes a complete okay. But makes a complete sense when closely observed. 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 That's paradox. We're talking about a statement that does not make sense at first when you look at it at first. But when you calm down to study it, it makes a whole lot of sense. You see it? All that live must die. That's paradoxical. So let's see personification. Now, as a figure of speech, the personification is used. As a figure of speech, personification is used when non-human are ascribed human attributes. when non-humans are ascribed human attributes. Next one is pan. 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 This is used when words with the same pronunciation but different meaning. This is used when words with the same pronunciation but different meaning are used in an expression. It's when words with the same pronunciation but different meanings are used in an expression. Pan. Are used in an expression. Now let's take rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. This describes questions that do not require answers. This describes questions that do not require answer. Describes questions that do not require answer. It is also used to identify any question in literature. It's also used to identify any question in literature. Next one is repetition. Repetition. It is a deliberate retake. It is a deliberate retake It is a deliberate retake of expressions. Deliberate retake of expression in a statement. It's deliberate retake of expression in a statement. Full stop. The words being repeated, expressions being repeated, must be the same. The expressions being repeated must be the same. For the sake of emphasis. Must be the same for the sake of emphasis. Full stop. Sarcasm. Sarcasm. It is a form of irony. It is a form of irony. Which is used to hurt somebody's feelings indirectly. Which is used to hurt somebody's feeling indirectly by which is used to hurt somebody's feeling indirectly by simply okay by simply saying the opposite of what you intend to say. By simply saying the opposite of what you intend to say. By simply saying the opposite of what you intend to say. Blank verse. Blank verse. Blank verse. This describes a poem. This describes a poem written in iambic pentameter lines, but with no rhyme. This describes a poem written in iambic pentameter lines, but no rhyme. But no rhyme. Oh, simile. 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 It is a figure of comparison. It's a figure of comparison. It's a figure of comparison used when two different items with deep similarities. It's used when two different items with deep similarities and two different items with deep similarities are compared directly. Two different items with deep similarities are compared directly using as, like, since, and or resembles. As, like, since, or resembles. Full stop. Synecdoche. It is used when a part of something represents the whole of it. It is used when a part of something represents the whole of it. And when a whole of something represents a part of it. When a whole of something represents a part of it. When a whole of something represents a part of it. When a whole of something represents a part of it. Full stop. Synesthesia. This figure of speech is used when sensations are misplaced. When sensations are misplaced. It's used when sensations are misplaced. Full stop. To use sensations are misplaced. Full stop. So use such figure of speech. To use such figure of speech. To use such figure of speech. The duty performed by one part of the body is attributed to the other. The duty performed by one part of the body is attributed to the other. Is attributed to the other. Or the function carried out by one sense organ. The function carried out by one sense organ. The function carried out by one sense organ carried out by one sense organ is misused. Is misused or carried out by one sense organ is misused. Put full stop, leave the O. Now look at this example. The sweet music has filled my heart. The sweet music has filled my heart. See that example? It's not possible. Music is not sweet. So how do you know? You can look at this example. Have any definite structure. That does not have any definite structure. Neither does it have rhymes. Neither does it have rhymes. The free verse does not have any definite structure. Neither does it have rhymes. The next one is enjambment. 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 Also called run-on lines. Also called run-on lines. Also called run-on lines. Full stop. It is a poetic device used It's a poetic device used it's a poetic device used when the idea or meaning in a line, when the ideas or meaning in a line runs into another line, runs into another line. Okay, you slept. When the idea or meaning in a poem, in a line of poetry rather, runs into another line to make sense. When the idea or meaning in a line of poetry runs into another line to make sense. Next one is melodrama. Melodrama. In this form of drama, serious issues, serious issues, serious issues, serious issues, in which serious issues are treated with unseriousness. Serious issues are treated with unseriousness. Stop. Innuendo. 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 Oh, Jesus. Oh. Innuendo. Those of you that are not copying, I know that if there's any questions, start not the poem out. Let's start explaining again. I know you. Godwin is one of them. He will ask up to 10 questions today. Innuendo. It is a form of irony. It is a form of irony. So your mind did not sleep today. If I hear, sound slept, sound slept. Eh? Who is teacher? It's a form of irony in which the speaker which the speaker presents two expressions. Which the speaker presents two expressions. Using one of them, as what he actually means. As what he actually means. What he actually means. First off, in most cases, innuendos are meant to hurt the feelings of others. In most cases, innuendos are meant to hurt the feelings of others. Innuendos are meant to hurt the feelings of others. Innuendos are meant to hurt the feelings of others. Full stop. Denouement. Denouement. It is the last stage in the plot of a story. Denouement. It is the last stage in the plot of a story. It is the last stage in the plot of a story. It is the last stage in the plot of a story. When all the conflicts have been resolved. The last stage in the plot of the story, when all the conflicts have been resolved. Last one. Anagnorisis. Anagnorisis. It is a literary term. It is a literary term employed. It is a literary term employed in a work of art. It is a literary term employed in a work of art. When a character changes suddenly. When a character changes suddenly, when a character changes suddenly to fully recognize and discover himself. Fully discover himself. anagnorisis, when a character changes suddenly to fully recognize and discover himself, thereby shifting from ignorance to knowledge, thereby shifting from ignorance to knowledge, thereby shifting from ignorance to knowledge. Have you watched any story or read any book that we can see an anagnorisis? Have you noticed it? Huh? When a writer, a character, there will just be a sudden change. He will just discover himself. Which, there's one popular one, the prodigal son. You see him feeding pigs and eating from the crumbs. And at the point, just discover and says, in my father's house. Do you understand? There are servants that are eating, and so he had to move from ignorance to knowledge. We've seen people, if you watch some, we've seen people that they've been suffering in the house before they had to discover that this woman is not my own mother. You see it? Then the moment of truth, when it comes, changes will come in. So the story will take another turn. So go through your work now. Ask questions.